vote could go on even in the midst of a national public health crisis. So yeah, it's really confusing here what he's trying to do. It's really very confusing what he's trying to do in terms of this new order, I guess. I don't know what the method is here, and what the standards are, how they change. I feel like they would be changing quite a bit in as this time. So, all right, we look at it. Yeah, the tweets coming out are just so very funny. Rob Reiner, for example, he's a Biden supporter. He's one of the MSNBC type Democrats. He said the GOP knew who this man was. They knew he was incompetent. They knew he was mentally unwell. They had the power to remove him. The blood is on their hands too. As he, again, supports a candidate who is supporting a pandemic election going down and is supporting a guy working for Joe Biden. Like, if you look at this, if you replace this tweet here from Rob Reiner, the GOP knew who this man was. If you cross GOP out with the Democrats, they knew he was incompetent. We know Joe Biden is. We know Joe Biden is most likely has some sort of mental deterioration. The blood is on their hands too. So like, and Joe Biden supporting voting during a pandemic, like, that's the crazy thing. This tweet works just as well. I mean, that's really the crazy thing. It's really, really crazy. And Biden's approach to the Wisconsin contest has just been crazy. I can only wonder if he's completely aware of the situation on the ground in Wisconsin. Kim Butler, the head of the Polk County Democratic Party, said of Biden not calling for delay, because I don't think if he was really seeing and hearing what was going on here, he would necessarily feel that way. I mean, we can barely get through a normal election without having massive ballot problems most of the time. So, like, how are we supposed to say that, oh, we can do this election well, we are confident in our ability to do this election? It does not make any sense. It does not make any sense. Butler lives in a red county, and so the dynamics are playing out on the ground in her area have shown her how difficult it can be to vote, and worries that in-person voting Tuesday means that voters will get sick, and fears that the pandemic will suppress the vote. It's like the turnout for this is gonna be all-time low, as it was for the 3 elections that were held that Biden won last week. It shows you that, like, it's so in, like, the standards for legitimacy, the standards, like, for the facade, I guess it feels like, have gone just down so much. Like, the bar of legitimacy has just come really crashing down, and it is quite a sight to see happen before our eyes here. So, my major fear is that people are going to get sick and possibly even die from voting tomorrow. And it's not a crazy fear. It's not a crazy fear in a state that the Democrats really need to win. They should be calling off this election, and they can really do. They can, in all but they can pretty much tell people to stay home. If they really told people to stay home, they could tell people to stay home. But it could hurt. I mean, I guess it could hurt that lady running against the Supreme Court justice. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's really kind of there's blame. This is, I mean, I don't like saying this normally, but you really get the sense there's blame to be cast on both sides of this here. But let's see where there's not any blame to be cast. Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders has been taking the, no surprise, the literally obvious tact on this. He's been calling it for it to be postponed because like literally any normal human would. Like, it just makes sense. Like, this is something that should happen. Like, it's logical. It's obvious. Like, I'm not giving any, like, special praise for it, but he's the only one doing it. So, I mean, I think it's worth covering here. But, yeah, Wisconsin's Supreme Court majority, conservative Supreme Court majority Monday night, overturned an executive order, as we know, by Governor Tony Evers, and against the urgent pleas of medical professionals and many lawmakers and poll workers and Democratic Party officials, as we saw in the state, and ruled that the state's Democratic presidential primary and the thousands of down-ballot contests must proceed as scheduled Tuesday, despite the severe health risks posed by the coronavirus pandemic. So the good thing is, at least, that there will be some people who are able to vote absentee ballot, so maybe the turnout won't be as bad. People have been really going to great lengths to get their absentee ballots in. I mean, you can only imagine, like, we're in a pandemic here. Like, this is something that they probably have tried to focus on doing for quite a bit, knowing that this was coming, hopefully. And any smart campaign will be like, guys, get your absentee ballots, get them in. Like, we need to, we're probably going to have to vote absentee here, so it's going to be a problem if we don't figure out how to get this under control. But, yeah, so Bernie Sanders, he said pretty much in a statement that the Wisconsin's Supreme Court's 4-2 party line decision, for which it offered no explanation, is dangerous, disregards the guidance of the public health experts, and may very well prove deadly. And it's going to indisputably prove that, like, voters will die who probably would have gone on to vote blue or red in the upcoming 2020 election, the presidential election. Like, they're going to be dead. They're going to be dead. Like, that's the crazy thing. Like, lives will be lost here for no reason, just so that Daniel Kelly can get in the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Like, that is crazy. Yeah, the Vermont senator said that to protect staffers and voters, his campaign will not be engaged in any traditional get-out-the-vote efforts on Tuesday. Sanders has called for the election to be delayed, while his opponent, former Vice President Joe Biden, has said the contest can safely take place. That is all you need to know in one sentence right there about the ethics of those people coming in. So, I mean, he's pretty much, like, he's pretty much stopped his campaign for all intents and purposes, to really focus most of his efforts on the coronavirus. Like, you saw literally campaign funds being reverted to coronavirus charities, $2 million worth, and it shows you, like, really where his priorities are at. Like, do you think we would have any kind of real drive to, like, if Bernie Sanders was the front runner, like, you really mean to tell me that he would have been like, no, we gotta keep soldiering on, like, we gotta keep pushing here. I mean, I really don't think you could look anyone in the face and say realistically that Bernie Sanders would have done what Joe Biden would have done. And if Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden's roles had been reversed and Bernie Sanders said the same thing that Joe Biden is saying now, he would have been, I think, probably rightly so, definitely rightly so, been raked over the coals for it, because it is a stupid thing to say unquestionably. So, yeah, Wisconsin now has more than 2,000 confirmed coronavirus cases and likely many more unconfirmed. Nearly 80 people in the state have died from the virus. In addition to holding the Democratic presidential primary, Wisconsin on Tuesday is holding around 4,000 down ballot contests, including this highly consequential race for the Supreme Court that we talked about before, between Daniel Kelly and the Democratic woman who Jill Karofsky. Yeah, Jill Karofsky. So, yeah, that's what they're trying to do. So this is a little bit of a kind of a digression here, but this is really why, to fully explain why the Supreme Court is fighting so hard for this Tuesday primary, and a lot of the Republicans are fighting so hard. Zakila Lacey from The Intercepts saying, amid calls to postpone the presidential primary on Tuesday because of the coronavirus pandemic, Wisconsin state officials have been reluctant to push elections due to concerns over a key statewide race, an election for the state Supreme Court seat that has the potential to loosen conservatives' grip on the judiciary. Daniel Kelly, the incumbent judge appointed in 2016 by the former Republican governor Scott Walker, is facing a liberal challenge in his first election from the Dane County Circuit Court judge and former prosecutor Jill Karofsky. And in Wisconsin, Supreme Court justices run in nonpartisan quote-unquote elections for 10-year terms, which is probably, I mean, if we were really to just drop the facade of, like, everyone doesn't have political, like, none of the Supreme Court justices have political opinions, like, and it's Supreme Court's above politics, like, and we just went on from there, like, that probably wouldn't make that much, like, that probably wouldn't be too crazy of a thing to do if we did that in the, on a national level, but it's never going to happen. But yeah, so they run for 10-year terms, and conservative judges have held the majority since 2008. They currently hold the court 5-2, and a win by Karofsky could pave the way for liberals to retake the court in 2023, when conservative Chief Justice Pat Roggensack will be up for re-election. Karofsky, who was endorsed by Senator Bernie Sanders on Thursday, is a former assistant attorney general who focuses on cases involving domestic violence and sexual assault, as well as a former executive director for the Wisconsin Office of Crime Victim Services. She's spoken about the need for criminal justice reform in her state, while Kelly, who has been endorsed by President Trump, has minimized the need for reform and portrayed Karofsky as soft on crime. Karofsky filed a lawsuit trying to block the state's Republican Party from airing ads with false claims about a prosecutorial record. So, as can be probably pretty easily predicted, the Republicans have been incredibly awful, incredibly scummy in this campaign, including sending their voters out to die for them. Literally, and they probably do it willingly. That's a funny thing. But one of the most consequential decisions delivered in Wisconsin's Supreme Court conservative majority in recent years was a 2014 ruling upholding a controversial 2011 law that gutted public workers' collective bargaining rights, a huge blow to the traditionally union-friendly state. The court has ruled against the rights of criminal defendants, including a 2017 decision overturning a ruling that had set a precedent for rights of convicted people to test DNA evidence relevant to their case. In the court's 2018-19 term, according to analysis by Alan Bell, a history professor at Marquette University who runs a blog about the Supreme Court and the stats, the court ruled overwhelmingly in favor of the prosecution in 14 of 16 cases. In another 2017 case, Kelly authored an opinion invalidating a Madison Transit Agency rule barring people on public buses from carrying concealed firearms. So, pretty much the court's incredibly conservative. This is the chance that has to just possibly flip the switch here and maybe bring things in the right direction. And this election is very, very tough. The Democrats already caused, I believe Karofsky's already called for it to be postponed. Joe Biden has declined to take a position, as we know. I'm just looking to see what Karofsky has said here. Wisconsin Democratic Party Chair Ben Wickler said the state should postpone elections, but I haven't seen anything what Karofsky said officially. But so it's really ridiculous why they haven't postponed this yet, and people are going to die. This is how we can sum it up. And they're pretty much doing it so they can get a state Supreme Court guy in, which is insane. It's really insane. We'll take a look at what the Supreme Court is doing to screw over Wisconsin next.
Wow, how things can change from one week to the next. Hey, hope everybody out there is staying healthy. I know everything is super crazy. We feel disoriented by the COVID-19 virus. It's more important than ever to stay connected and check in with your loved ones. That's why I'm so happy I've got T-Mobile. Listen, T-Mobile isn't just talking the talk. They're taking measures right now to make life easier for everyone by doing the right thing for their customers during this really critical time. For example, T-Mobile has ensured all current customers with data plans have access to unlimited smartphone data on their network for 2 months. We're all in this together. T-Mobile truly believes that. And while many T-Mobile stores are temporarily closed to help keep customers and employees healthy, they've still got you covered with any help you need. Just check out T-Mobile.com. You can see what stores are still open and how you can manage your account online. Stay safe out there. During congestion, customers using more than 50 gigs a month may notice reduced speeds prioritization, video typically at 480p, capable device required.
At Sprint, our priority is keeping our customers, employees, and communities safe. During these uncertain times, get the great service you expect without leaving the safety of your home. Shop at Sprint.com for our best new phone deals, like the amazing iPhone 11. Lease it for just $15 a month when you switch. Stay healthy and go to Sprint.com today. iPhone 11 64 gigabyte, $15 per month after 14/17 monthly credit. Apply within 2 bills. Requires new line of service, 18-month lease, and approved credit. If you cancel early, remaining balance due. Offering coverage not available everywhere. $30 activation fee, taxes, and restrictions apply.
Hope everyone's quarantine is going well. Having an exciting new announcement to make. We're trying to start a new show. We don't know too much about the schedule yet, but if you want to get announcements about when it's going to come out, the future of the show, so go subscribe. It's called Processing. If you were already subscribed to Red Alert, our previous show, you will be subscribed to that as well. It's the same feed, believe it or not. So that is very fun. It's about what it's like to grow up in this day and age. We're talking to young people as much as we can, trying to get the sense of what it's like. And I know something about that as well, so I'll be able to add in my perspective. But the whole idea is to have conversation